This month in history, January. Hey Crash, today we're going to be taking a look at the month of January throughout all of history. This is a new style of video we'll hopefully be doing as additional monthly content, depending on what our viewers think.
Oh great, more work.
Think of it as a new opportunity to be the annoying, obnoxious guy that you love to be.
Fuck you.
See, that's the spirit. These videos will be jam-packed full of January-related facts, and we can assure you that you will leave this video with some new knowledge. Crash here will be with me as per usual, but he might also throw in his own little segments here and there too.
Oh, really?
Did you bring the posters, Crash?
Yep, they're right over there.
Go get them. We'll need those to get started.
Anything to make this experience over sooner. Let's do this!
Prepare to be absolutely bombarded by facts.
January 1st!
Did you know that originally not all countries celebrated January 1st as the official start of the year? Many began doing so later on. Germany in 1544, Spain and Portugal in 1556, France in 1564, Scotland in 1600, and Russia in 1700. In 1781, the first edition of the Times was published.
About time, am I right? This new video thing really isn't going my way.
In 1962, the United States Navy SEALs were established. Please, just give it a rest, buddy. This is sad. In 1971, cigarette advertisements were banned on American television.
January 2nd.
The US president signs a bill lowering the maximum US speed limit to 55 miles per hour in 1974. In 1981, British police arrest Peter Sutcliffe, known as serial killer the Yorkshire Ripper.
January 3rd.
Alaska was admitted as the 49th US state in 1959. In 1999, the Mars Polar Lander is launched by NASA.
I would like to apologize for my humor being so off today, but when you said Mars Polar Lander, this popped into my mind. January 4th!
In 1717, the Netherlands, Great Britain, and France signed the Triple Alliance. Solomon Northup regains his freedom after being kidnapped and sold into slavery in the American South, his memoir 12 Years a Slave becoming a national bestseller in 1853. In 1914, the Ford Motor Company announces the 8-hour workday and that it would pay a living wage of at least $5 for a day's labor. The Daily Mail became the first transoceanic newspaper in 1944. In 1066, Harold II is crowned King of England. Celia, the last known Pyrenean ibex, was found dead after a tree had landed on her in the year 2000.
January 7th!
In 1797, the modern Italian flag we see today is used for the first time. 2 gunmen kill 12 and injure 11 in a shooting at the offices of satirical French magazine Charlie Hebdo in 2015.
Jesus Christ, we're only 7 days into all this history and we're already faced with some intense shit.
History is history, Crash. We can't simply ignore things because they're of a negative nature.
Speak for yourself. January 8th.
In 1940, Britain introduces food rationing during World War II. US President George W. Bush signs into law the No Child Left Behind Act, based on the premise that higher standards and measurable goals could improve students' outcomes in education in 2002.
January 9th.
In 2007, the original iPhone is introduced by Apple CEO Steve Jobs at a Macworld keynote in San Francisco. The New England Telephone and Telegraph installs the first ever battery-operated telephone switchboard in Lexington, Massachusetts in 1894.
January 10th!
In 1863, the London Underground is opened, now known as the world's oldest underground railway. In 1946, the United States Army Signal Corps successfully conducts Project Diana, bouncing radio waves off of the moon and receiving the reflected signals.
January 11th!
In 1927, Louis B. Mayer, head of film studio Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, announces the creation of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. In 1964, the Surgeon General of the United States, Dr. Luther Terry, MD, publishes the landmark report that claims smoking may be hazardous to health, leading to national and worldwide anti-smoking efforts.
January 12th.
19 European nations, including France, Germany, and Switzerland, agreed to forbid human cloning in 1998. In 2001, Downtown Disney opens to the public as part of the Disneyland Resort in Anaheim, California.
January 13th.
In 1910, the first ever public radio broadcast takes place, a live performance of the operas Cavalleria Rusticana and Pagliacci, sent out over the airwaves from the Metropolitan Opera House in New York City. In 1939, the Black Friday bushfires burn almost 20,000 square kilometres of land, or 4.9 million acres, in Victoria, Australia, claiming the lives of 71 people.
January 14th.
In 1952, NBC debuts their morning show Today, the first of its genre on American television and in the world, which has now been running for 64 years. In 1973, Elvis Presley sets the record as the most watched broadcast by an individual entertainer in television history, with his Aloha from Hawaii broadcast via satellite.
Okay, that's a shitload of information, buddy. I think we need to break the episode up with something a little less intense. Oh, I know. How about I show the viewers a bunch of notable people who were born this month?
I'm not sure that would be...
Actor Mel Gibson, author of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, J.R.R. Tolkien, theoretical physicist Stephen Hawking, Mr. Motherfucking Worldwide, television host Ellen DeGeneres, media proprietor Oprah Winfrey, and last but not least, internet super meme Maddie B.
Can I continue now?
Nope. If I've spoken about birth, it's only fair that I also speak about death, right?
That doesn't sound particularly uplifting.
26th U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt, inventor of Braille Louis Braille, musician David Bowie, actor Heath Ledger, spiritual leader Gandhi, author of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland Lewis Carroll, inventor of instant noodles Momofuku Ando. I hope I didn't fuck that up. No! We lost a great man on that day. January 15th.
In 1559, Elizabeth I is crowned Queen of England in Westminster Abbey, London, England. In 2001, content encyclopedia Wikipedia goes online.
January 16th.
In 1945, Adolf Hitler moves into his underground bunker, the so-called Führer bunker. In 2005, Adriana Iliescu, a Romanian university lecturer and novelist, gives birth at the age of 66, breaking the record for the world's oldest birth mother.
January 17th.
In 1982, Cold Sunday takes place, where, in numerous cities in the United States, temperatures fall to their lowest levels in over 100 years. In 1929, E.C. Seeger's cartoon character appears for the first time in the Thimble Theatre comic strip Popeye the Sailor Man.
January 18th.
In 474,
Geez, that's a while back.
7-year-old Leo II succeeds his maternal grandfather, Leo I, as Byzantine emperor. He dies 10 months later.
Lovely.
In 1993, Martin Luther King Jr. Day is officially recognized for the first time in all 50 states. In 1953, almost 72% of all television sets in the US tune into I Love Lucy to watch Lucy give birth. In 2012, Hong Kong-based file-sharing website Mega Upload is shut down by the FBI.
Why, cruel world? Oh, sweet. January 20th.
In 1929, the first full-length talking motion picture filmed outdoors was released, entitled Old Arizona. In 2006, witnesses report seeing a bottlenose whale swimming in the River Thames, the first time the species had been seen in the Thames since records began in 1913.
January 21st.
In 1908, New York City passes the Sullivan Ordinance, making it illegal for women to smoke in public, only to have the measure vetoed by the mayor. In one of the largest drug busts in American history, taking place in 1998, the United States Coast Guard intercepts a ship with over 4,300 kilograms, or 9,500 pounds, of cocaine on board.
January 22nd.
In 2002, Kmart becomes the largest retail in United States history to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. In 2006, Kobe Bryant of the Los Angeles Lakers scores 81 points in the NBA game versus the Toronto Raptors, the second highest total in NBA history.
January 23rd!
In 1556, the Shaanxi earthquake, the deadliest in history, hits Shaanxi province, China, with a death total as high as 830,000. In 1957, inventor Walter Frederick Morrison sells the rights to his flying disc to the Wham-O toy company, who later renames it the Frisbee. In 1986, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inducts its first members, including Ray Charles, James Brown, and Elvis Presley.
January 24th.
In 1983, Hulk Hogan pins the Iron Sheik for the World Wrestling Federation title, beginning his 1,474-day reign. In 2016, TV drama The X-Files returns after 13 years.
January 25th!
In 1961, Walt Disney's 101 Dalmatians is released. In 1971, Charles Manson and 3 female family members are found guilty of the 1969 Tate LaBianca murders.
January 26th.
In 1905, the world's largest diamond ever, the Cullinan, is found at the Premier Mine near Pretoria in South Africa, weighing 3,106.75 carats, or 0.621350 kilograms.
Sweet mother of pearl!
In 1965, Hindi becomes the official language of India.
January 27th. Oh, hey, that's my birthday.
In 1984, Michael Jackson suffers second-degree burns to his scalp while filming for a Pepsi commercial. In 1992, Bill Clinton, then a presidential candidate, is accused by model and actress Jennifer Flowers of a 12-year affair.
January 28th.
In 1887, work begins on the Eiffel Tower in Paris, France. In 1965, the current design of the flag of Canada is chosen by an Act of Parliament.
January 29th.
In 1845, The Raven is published in the Evening Mirror in New York, the first publication with the name of the author, Edgar Allan Poe. In 2015, Malaysia officially declared the disappearance of the missing Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 as an accident, the passengers and crew presumed to be dead.
January 30th.
In 1933, Adolf Hitler is sworn in as Chancellor of Germany.
Bad move, boys.
In 2003, the Kingdom of Belgium officially recognizes same-sex marriages.
January motherfucking 31st. Yeah, we're done.
In 1950, US President Harry S. Truman announces a program to develop the hydrogen bomb. In 2010, Avatar becomes the first film to gross over $2 billion worldwide.
Sweet motherfucking mother of pearl!
Well, that concludes the first installment of our new monthly miniseries.
Can I go?
Hopefully now you know something new and interesting about the month of January.
Can I go?
Be sure to let us know what you...
Can I go?
Crash!
Can I go?
Fine then, go.